Welcome to AG Chelsea TV. This is the YouTube channel that will bring Chelsea fans the latest news of the club in our hearts. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to support me. Player wants transfer to Chelsea in the very near future. Chelsea have drawn a first offer for Montpellier striker Eli Wahi, which was subsequently refused by the French side. That's according to L'Equipe, who say that after several days of discussions, Chelsea have sent an initial offer to Montpellier for the striker. L'Equipe say Chelsea's first offer for the player was made following days of discussions and was valued at €27.5 million without bonuses. However, this was deemed not good enough for Montpellier, who subsequently rejected it out of hand. They, though, are still open to negotiation with those in charge at Stamford Bridge. They are aware that Wahi is currently focused on joining Chelsea and wants to join the Blues quickly if he can. Thus, other suitors such as Atletico de Madrid and Frankfurt are being ignored for now. For him to get the move he wants, though, the Blues will need to increase their offer after their initial bid was rejected by Montpellier. Why Pochettino thinks friendlies are vital for one breakout star of pre-season. There has been no Chelsea player who has impressed more than Nicolas Jackson in pre-season. His talent was obvious from the moment we signed him, but there were serious doubts about his Polish and readiness to step up from playing in Spain's Segunda B 2 years ago to starting this season as Chelsea's main striker. So far, through 3 games, he's done nothing but convince. Goals and assists have flowed. And speaking after the game last night, his manager glowed. This type of game helps a lot. For a player like Jackson, who arrives from La Liga, to compete against a team like Newcastle, who will play in the Champions League, is so important. His words show that the concerns behind the scenes were clearly along the same lines, not doubting the forward's ability, just his lack of experience at the very top. West Ham's top transfer target still pursued by Brighton. Despite Chelsea confusion, the future of Gallagher, 23, remains uncertain, and earlier this week it was reported that Chelsea are willing to let the England international leave Stamford Bridge. West Ham were the first to make the decisive move and made an initial offer of £40 million for Gallagher, which was rejected by the Blues. David Moyes' team are determined to bolster this midfield after losing Declan Rice to Arsenal for £105 million. Brighton, however, do hold some leverage, as much depends on how talks progress with Caicedo. So far, Chelsea have offered £80 million for Albion's Ecuador international, but they continue to hold out for £100 million. Head coach Mauricio Pochettino has stated his desire to land a midfielder, but talks with Brighton remain complex. The Seagulls could, however, be tempted with a part exchange, with Gallagher, Levi Colwill, or even both moving in the opposite direction. It is believed Gallagher would be keen on a move to the South Coast as Roberto De Zerbi's Seagulls prepare for Europa League and Premier League football next term. Chelsea leading Arsenal in race for £40 million Hijack star Kudus. Kudus has been strongly linked with a move to the Premier League this summer, with both Brighton and United previously interested. Chelsea are the current favourites to sign him, though, according to The Independent. The report states that the Blues have presented a more convincing package than Arsenal. In addition, Chelsea believe they can price Arsenal out of any potential move, as they are in a stronger position to agree both a transfer fee and wages. Kudus is expected to be valued at around £40 million by Ajax if he is to leave the club. Arsenal are keen on him as one of their midfield targets, alongside the arrival of a new right-back. However, the Gunners need to sell before buying following their early business. Meanwhile, Chelsea have already trimmed their squad down considerably and could sign 2 midfielders before the window closes. Report: Chelsea could now hijack £45 million Liverpool transfer. Chelsea could reportedly hijack Liverpool's move for Romeo Lavia, with the Southampton midfielder closing in on a move to Anfield. According to The Independent, the Blues could now make their own attempt to recruit the Belgian international, with Liverpool set to launch a £45 million bid for Lavia, having already had one offer turned down this week. Lavia has emerged as a leading target for Liverpool, with Jordan Henderson's exit confirmed today, as Fabinho looks set to join the English international in Saudi Arabia via Al Ittihad. Yet Chelsea could now ruin Liverpool's master plan if they move for Lavia, with the midfielder potentially open on a move to Stamford Bridge to play regular football under Mauricio Pochettino. As a result, Liverpool will have to act fast to wrap up Lavia's signature, with the Reds yet to make their second offer for the Southampton star, despite growing tensions. Michael Ola's transfer price skyrockets as Chelsea handed $135 million lesson after missing out on deal. Chelsea aren't making progress toward signing a new midfielder to the annoyance of Mauricio Pochettino, but they are actively considering even more attacking talent, having already made the additions of Nicolas Jackson, Christopher Nkunku, Diego Moreira, and Angelo Gabriel. Pochettino's forward options are well stocked. Nevertheless, with teenagers making up the bulk of this young squad, there is a demand for some more experience, preferably Premier League proven experience, where applicable, but some ready-made quality wouldn't go amiss at this stage. Moises Caicedo is certainly thought to be just that. But haggling over a price for the 21-year-old and struggling to get anywhere with Brighton, despite close proximity in America, has put the deal in doubt. It means that so far there is general frustration at the incomings, despite such grand work clearing out the group. At the moment, we are working to reinforce that area, midfield, and other areas also, Pochettino said before the 1-1 draw with Newcastle. We are working very hard to try to add more players in different areas and hope that is possible soon. He added, "We need at least one more and we are working on that. It depends on what happens in the next few weeks. We will decide and take our decision. We are working, the club is working on that. We need to add some player there. We need one more with experience." However, what has become clear is that the central areas are not the only ones being pursued. Football.London understands that Ryan Cherki, Mohamed Kudus, and Michael Ola are all seen as potential recruits to fill in for the right-wing spot as well as behind the striker. It is Ola, with 2 years at Crystal Palace, who offers top-flight experience in England. He has played 63 times across the 2 seasons with 16 assists despite a modest total of 4 goals in the same time. At 21, he is far from the finished article but does possess a lot of desirable qualities, including effective off-ball work. With a release clause of £35 million, $45 million, he comes at a cheap price as well. Compared to Kudus and Cherki, both of who are priced at closer to £40 million, $51 million, it looks to be a solid valuation of a player already in the French national team contention, and with an excellent youth record behind him. Declan Rice, now a £105 million, $134 million man, was let go at 14 as well, but within 6 years was being valued at £80 million, $103 million, by West Ham in the face of Chelsea's interest. Fikayo Tomori would now command a much larger fee than the £25 million, $32 million, he was sold for in 2021, while Marc Guehi is seen as a potential defensive replacement this summer, but would be more than twice as expensive now compared to when he was allowed to join Palace the same year. It is far too simplistic to suggest that Chelsea have simply missed out with Ola, but having already seen with Rice what can happen, the lesson needs to be learnt, and learned fast, if they want to avoid similar mistakes and embarrassment in the future. And that's the end of this video. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to support me.